welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment as the Houston Texans win the AFC South as they defeat the Cincinnati Bengals 12-10 on Saturday Night Football, or whatever the hell they were calling it. They're calling it Thursday night or something like that. It's Saturday night, so I'll call it Saturday Night Football. And this Houston Texans team is going back to the playoffs. This is the second straight season they're going to the playoffs under Bill O'Brien. And I guess you have to be happy, I guess. You believe that you have a chance, a lot of you Texas fans. I mean, personally, I don't. And I think the more realistic Texas fans think that they don't either. But we have to say this. This defense is really, really good. And they're going to give some teams some problems, right? But the problem is when you go up against Tom Brady, sure, you can slow him down, but is Tom Savage going to defeat Tom Brady? Because ultimately that's what it's going to come down to. You just don't buy that, or at least I don't. But let's get into this specific game. So let's start with Tom Savage because he's, the new starter at quarterback for Houston, and I thought he did all right, right? He didn't play poorly. He didn't play very well either. He's playing better than Brock Osweiler, I would say, but very slightly. The one thing he's doing that Brock Osweiler did not do is he's not throwing interceptions, right? So that's an improvement already. But beyond that, he really doesn't give you much. He's all right. He's not great. But I also see some schematic and some strategical problems with this Texans offense. First of all, they really like to throw outside, like a lot. They have a lot of outside routes, a lot of out routes, a lot of corner routes, a lot of go routes, a lot of stuff outside. They don't really utilize the middle of the field, mainly because their tight ends aren't very good. Although CJ Fedorowicz has improved, but their tight ends aren't very good, so they don't really seek to go in the middle a lot. And you're looking at two wide receivers in DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller that aren't the most physical guys, so whenever they go inside, they don't really end up with the football often. Like, I remember in this game, Will Fuller ran a slant, and he got absolutely out-physicaled by the cornerback. He didn't have a chance of catching the football, mainly just because he couldn't out-physical this guy. So, they have two wide receivers that like to be on the outside, so they throw it to the outside. But, right now they're not utilizing the middle of the field, and I think that would help Tom Savage a lot because that's something I did see him do a little bit at Pitt and have some success with, so I think they could improve with that. Also, use your running backs a little more, have some more running back screens. Alfred Blue, he can do it. Lamar Miller, when he comes back, do a little more of that. So I think their offense today was a bad day to play, but I think Bill O'Brien could really do better. I think right now this offensive scheme and strategy is holding them back, not really the personnel. The personnel at quarterback isn't great, but I think they should certainly be better than a team that barely scores 12. I mean, come on, they should score way more than 12. I know this Bengals defense is good, but 12, you got to be freaking kidding me. And it was more so, I thought, because of their schemes and their strategies tonight than their personnel. We look at DeAndre Hopkins, I guess you could say he's doing better under Tom Savage. He certainly did last week. This week, he didn't do much. He had one really impressive first down, but beyond that, I really wasn't too impressed. Will Fuller, he's doing a little more, but same thing, and they don't have any other wide receivers. I mean, Keith Mumphrey, are you kidding me? And you just go down the depth chart and you say who, and who cares, right? So the receiving core isn't very good, but you just can't do anything about it right now. Is Braxton Miller healthy? I'm not sure if he's healthy right now, but I didn't see him tonight. So the wide receiving core outside of the first two isn't very good, but there's nothing you can do at this point. But defensively, that's where this team is. That's where they lie. That's where their success lies, and they're very good. Jadeveon Clowney. Now, he had a sack today, and it was a very impressive sack. I mean, this guy absolutely bullied Cedric Ogbuehi, who for some reason was at left tackle. I don't know if the Bengals are running. He was at left tackle, and Jadeveon Clowney said, "Oh, you got to be kidding me. Get out of my way." And also saw a number of times where when the snap came out, this boy was explosive, and he started getting a push early. But I really didn't see much outside of that sack that I really wanted to see, especially on that last Bengals drive, which probably should have won them the game if we're being honest. You really would have liked to have seen Jadeveon Clowney step up there and get a sack to win the game. And he's going to the Pro Bowl, and I would say deservedly so. He has now probably 6 sacks on the season. I'd like to see that number be higher. But when we look at him, some people think he's a bust. No, he's not a bust. He's certainly not as good as Khalil Mack. Right, and I know the argument is going to be, well, Jadeveon Clowney has had to play as a 3-4, 5 technique defensive end this season. And you're right saying that. But whenever I see this team in dime packages with 4 down linemen, guess who's the edge rusher? Jadeveon Clowney. He can get his sacks up, believe me. Especially during this last drive. He was the edge rusher plenty of times on this last drive. So, he needs to get his sack totals up, but for right now, he's a good player. He's actually a pretty damn good player. Texas fans, you know this, but just a message to everyone else out there. You saw the inside linebackers play well today in Benardrick McKinney and Brian Cushing. Brian Cushing with a huge run stuff at the near the end of the game. Really didn't end up mattering, but that's the type of play I like to see linebackers make. I complained about my own Tennessee Titans linebackers not being able to make those type of plays. Huge plays, stuffing the run, the equivalent of a sack there. Love big plays like that. Great play by Brian Cushing. Back healthy. Will he remain healthy? I don't know. But he's healthy for now. He's making an impact. Now, Quentin Dempsey had an interception today. But you look at the touchdown by Brandon LaFell. Okay, this was a slant play. You saw Kareem Jackson and AJ Bouye, they connected and just picked each other, right? So they're now out of the play. It's their fault. If you want to blame anyone, it's them. They should have communicated. It's their fault. However, Quentin Demps, as a free safety, and you're a pretty good one, you cannot, to me, just let Brandon LaFell just run by you like he did and have no chance of catching up to him. I mean, he had no chance. The only one that had a chance was Jadeveon Clowney. If your defensive end is the fastest person on your football team defensively, you have a little bit of a problem, but whatever. I just found that to be a little funny. Quentin Demps, you got to catch him. You got to get him down. That's a huge play that could have won the Bengals the game. Luckily for you guys, it didn't. So we move on. Let's talk about the Bengals now. So the Bengals, you lose this game, 5-9-1. Very disappointing season in Cincinnati. Will you move on from Marvin Lewis? I don't know. I certainly would. I think they need a little bit of a regime change, a philosophy change. Just try to build this team in a different mode, in a different light, under new leadership. That's what I would do. I don't know what they're going to do. I would lean that they're probably going to do that they're probably going to move on, but I don't know if they're going to change the regime, because I think they're just going to hire from within. I think they're going to hire this Paul Gunther, their defensive coordinator, I believe, to just take over, and then it won't really be that much of a difference. But probably they have like 1 year of resurgence because of that, and then after that, they kind of fall flat after that. But that's neither here nor there. Andy Dalton. He actually had a pretty good game. He had the interception today, and that one was slightly his fault. He threw the ball a little high, too high. But Tyler Boyd has to come down with that. And Tyler Boyd, man, this guy, I guess you could say he's what exactly everyone thought he was going to be. He's not that explosive. He's not that refined yet. And he doesn't have the potential to get much better. So if you want him to be your number 2 in the future, he may be, but he's not going to be a very good one. Cody Core, on the other hand, he showed some promise today. Now, I don't understand why he was such a huge part of the game plan. The guy got like 16 targets, which is way too much for Cody freaking Core, a rookie out of Ole Miss. But I saw some things there, so I'm interested by him. Rex Burkhead ended up getting the majority of carries today because Jeremy Hill missed some time in practice, and he was rendered ineffective today against this Texas defense as he only had 7 carries for 8 yards. We all know Rex Burkhead can't do anything. He actually had a nice run at the end of the game, but that guy can't do anything. Screw Rex Burkhead. Who cares? But Andy Dalton, I was impressed with him overall. He's a game manager. But in terms of this game, I guess he really wasn't. He was the only reason they were in the game. And if it wasn't for him playing as well as he even did, they probably would be out of the game. It wouldn't even be close. So I can say for once, Andy Dalton, I won't even call you a game manager tonight, right? You still are, but tonight you don't get that title. You look at defensively, I don't know where Carlos Dunlap was today. I think he got absolutely silenced by Dwayne Brown. You look at Wallace Gilberry, he actually showed up. Michael Johnson, this guy hasn't played well. You need to improve your defensive end and improve your pass rush this upcoming off season. Linebackers, all right. Vincent Ray had a pretty good game. Cornerback, secondary, Josh Shaw actually played pretty well. Darquez Dennard, same thing. They were able to slow down this Texas receiving corps for the most part, but ultimately they lost the game. and it's unfortunate, but really the GOAT today, and not in a good way, like the bad GOAT, like the guy that we need, the scapegoat, the loser, the clown, the baboon of the day is Randy Bullock, who missed a 43-yard field goal or something that he should have made at the end of the game. He whiffed it completely. He was scared out of his mind. He was going up against his former team, and he couldn't take it. He rushed the kick. He screwed up big time, and he lost the Bengals the game because they would drive down the field. They're in field goal range, well into field goal range, and he blew it. He absolutely blew it. Randy Bullock, you're the baboon of the day. So there you go. Texans clinched the AFC South. Congratulations on what has been, for me, a horrible Christmas Eve, but I'm sure for you, it's just been glorious. Santa. All right, so there you go. Those are my thoughts on this game. What are yours? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. Peace.